Greetings and salutations, my lovelies! I tried to do something different with this one because I was going to just record the video with the opening voiceover directly with the camera, but then I got it into my video program and the audio was terrible. Like, you could hardly hear me over like background staticky noise, so I'm having to redo this. So if my hand gestures don't actually match up with what I'm saying, that is why. Alright, so this past weekend, I was in Louisville, Kentucky for the Arcade Expo, the Retro Arcade Expo that they do there, and this is one of my favorite events. It's an annual event that I've been going to for years, and they don't actually have like an artist alley like most anime conventions or whatever do, but they did do vendors and they allow artists to participate as vendors. So while I was there, I got inspired to work on some of my favorite retro games, and so that's what I come up with. These guys are little like ACO trading card size things, about 2.5 by 3.5, and so basically each one was just I chose some characters or a character or something that I liked from a video game that I remember playing growing up and did a little card. This first one here, for example, these are the singers from Runaway 5, which is a band that exists in the Super NES game Earthbound, which is actually the game Mother 2 from Japan. It's actually the second in a series of 3 games, and only the second one came over to the US, and it was called Earthbound. But it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's an RPG style game where you're a little boy who's trying to fix some weird stuff that's happened in the world. And yeah, it's just really, really fun. And then there's Adventure Island's main character. I believe his name is Captain Higgins, although, to be honest, I had to be reminded of that more recently. And he's got himself an egg, and he's all sassy, and he's like, I'm gonna break this open and see what's in it. Yay! And then the last one, this is the one that the fewest people that I know have ever even heard of this game. It was called Kiwi Craze, spelled Kraze, although I always pronounced it Kiwi Crazy growing up because I like the rhyme. I don't actually know which one it is. Although that's the US release name, I believe everywhere else it was called the New Zealand story. I'm not entirely sure. And basically in this game, you're just playing as this little kiwi who is trying to save all of the other little kiwis because they've been kidnapped. And yeah, it's just really super cute. You're running around as a little guy, little kiwi. Normally flightless birds, but in the game you've got these little hover things you can jump on, and when you jump on those you can like float around, and it's kind of like the kiwi's able to fly. So that's why I did kind of, I liked the idea of him being on there and being all like, onward, I fly! Because it's really cute, the idea that this kiwi flightless bird is able to fly now. So there you go. These are the 3 cards that I'm going to do a time lapse on coloring them for this video, and I hope you enjoy it. I don't have too much more to say. Basically, just these were some fun, quick things that I sketched and inked while at the convention, and decided that it could be a fun kind of introduction to some of the things that I enjoy for a video for this week. So that's why I decided to go ahead and color them, and you get to learn a little bit more about me during this process as well. I do realize that the anatomy on obviously this one and then the Captain Higgins one, for Adventure Island, are pretty off. I was doing these really quick in between customers, and that isn't really an excuse because I still could put more time and effort into them, but they were something fun that I was doing for myself, and so I wasn't too worried about making sure that they were absolutely perfect. And in the future, I think I might actually redo a couple of these, maybe even as larger pieces, I'm not sure. Just because they are things that I really enjoy and that mean something to me as something from my childhood, and I did really enjoy coloring them and they make me happy. And I think that's an important part of art, is whether or not something will make you happy or not. So yeah, from here then, I guess I'll just remind you of all of the normal stuff. Social media links are in the description, as well as a link to my Patreon page where you could support me and see like works in progress of things, so you get an idea of what I'm doing before I actually post either here or on any of my other social medias. Anyway, enjoy some music, and I love you all, and I will see you next week. Something happened with the end of this piece. I think I started it recording after looking up what the design on his hat is supposed to be, and it wasn't that I didn't hit record again. It actually, the memory card filled up, and it doesn't alert me when it does that. It just stops recording, and then my only notification that something has happened is when the camera shuts itself down after a certain amount of time. So the last part of this one is missing, including my showing it to you more closely, but I do that again with all of them at the end, so you will get to see the finished piece for this card at the end of the video.